Archangel Michael has brought a message for you today, and he wants you to listen carefully because what he is about to reveal is connected to a season of your life that has been hidden from you for far too long. There are moments when heaven sees what you cannot yet see, moments when God knows what is waiting beyond the pain, the delay, the disappointment, and the confusion you have been carrying. And today, Archangel Michael says that God has seen your future. He has seen the person you are becoming, the doors that will open, the prayers that will finally make sense, and the peace that will replace the battles you thought would never end. He says, do not walk away from this message before you understand what is happening around you. You may have felt recently that something was changing without being able to explain exactly what it was. Perhaps your heart has been unusually sensitive. Perhaps certain people have begun acting differently toward you. Perhaps something that once seemed important no longer feels right, while something you cannot yet see seems to be pulling you forward. This is why you are here. Not because you were forced to be here, but because something inside you recognized that you needed to hear these words. So take a deep breath and stay with this message. Let your mind become quiet for a moment and allow your heart to listen. Before you continue the message along with me, we request you to support this ministry by giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation on PayPal. You have the option to give special thanks with contributions of up to $222. This will help us continue our work and bring such beautiful Archangel Michael message for you. Remember, your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Now, let's continue this message. Archangel Michael says that the season ahead of you is not simply a continuation of the season behind you. Something is shifting. Something is being released. Something is being prepared. And the most powerful part is that you may not yet understand why everything had to happen the way it did. God saw the entire picture while you were only seeing one painful moment at a time. He saw the tears you cried when nobody knew. He saw the nights when you questioned whether your prayers were even being heard. He saw the moments when you smiled in front of people while carrying battles inside that you could not explain. And Archangel Michael says that heaven did not overlook any of it. Every silent prayer, every difficult decision, every time you chose not to give up when you had every reason to do so has become part of the story that is now unfolding. If you believe that God has been with you even during the moments when you could not feel Him, type, "I still believe," in the comments. Let those words come from your heart, not because you have everything figured out, but because you are choosing faith while the picture is still incomplete. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says that there was a reason certain things did not happen when you wanted them to happen. You thought the delay meant rejection. You thought the closed door meant failure. You thought the person leaving meant that something valuable had been taken away from you. You thought the opportunity that disappeared was the opportunity you were supposed to have. But God was seeing something you could not see. Sometimes protection looks like disappointment before it reveals itself as protection. Sometimes a closed door is not punishment but direction. Sometimes a separation is not the end of your story but the beginning of your freedom. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that not everything you lost was meant to follow you into your future. Some things had to leave because the person you are becoming cannot continue carrying what the person you used to be carried. You have been holding emotional weight that was never meant to become your permanent identity. You have been allowing old words, old betrayals, old failures, and old disappointments to speak louder than God's purpose for you. But that is changing now. The past can explain where you have been, but it does not have the authority to decide where you are going. God has already seen a version of you that is stronger, wiser, calmer, and more confident than the version of yourself you sometimes see today. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. Archangel Michael says, "The future you are afraid to believe in is closer than you think." And that is why this message is reaching you now. There is a reason your heart has been restless. There is a reason you have felt that something needs to change. There is a reason you are becoming less comfortable with situations that once felt normal. Your spirit is beginning to recognize that you were not created to remain in the same place forever. You were not created merely to survive one difficult season after another. You were created to grow, to heal, to become, to serve, to love, and to walk forward with courage. If you are ready to leave an old season behind you, type, "I am moving forward," in the comments. Let that be your declaration today. Archangel Michael says there is another truth you need to hear. You have been stronger than you realize. You survived days that once seemed impossible. You continued when you felt exhausted. You kept going when nobody applauded you. You rebuilt parts of yourself that other people never knew were broken. And now God is showing you that your endurance was not meaningless. The strength you developed in the dark will become part of the wisdom you carry into the light. You may have wondered why you had to experience certain disappointments. You may have asked why certain people were allowed to hurt you. You may have questioned why your path seemed harder than everyone else's. But Archangel Michael says you should not measure your future by the difficulty of your past. A difficult beginning does not guarantee a difficult ending. A painful chapter does not mean the whole book will be painful. God has not finished writing your story. There are pages ahead that you have never seen. There are conversations ahead that will change your understanding. There are opportunities ahead that you cannot recognize yet because they have not arrived. There are moments of peace waiting for you that will make you look back and understand why you could not remain where you were. And this is where the message becomes even more important. Archangel Michael says that something you have been praying about may begin moving in a way that feels small at first. Do not overlook the small beginning simply because you were expecting something dramatic. A message may arrive. A conversation may happen. A new idea may enter your mind. Someone may introduce you to an opportunity. You may suddenly realize that a certain decision has become much easier. You may wake up one morning and notice that the heaviness you carried for so long is no longer controlling your thoughts. Do not underestimate these signs of movement. Sometimes the greatest changes begin quietly. If you are ready to recognize the small beginnings instead of waiting only for a dramatic miracle, type, "I see the signs," below. Archangel Michael says that God has seen your future, and what he saw was not a person forever trapped by the circumstances of today. He saw you standing after the storm. He saw you looking back without the same pain. He saw you understanding why certain doors closed. He saw you becoming grateful for protection you once misunderstood. He saw you surrounded by people who value your presence instead of people who constantly make you question your worth. He saw you making decisions from wisdom rather than fear. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. He saw you becoming comfortable with saying no to what drains you and yes to what brings you closer to your purpose. And perhaps most importantly, he saw you finally understanding that your worth was never determined by who stayed and who left. My beloved child, someone may have walked away from you and convinced you that you were the problem. Someone may have misunderstood you. Someone may have spoken about you unfairly. Someone may have failed to recognize what you carried inside. But Archangel Michael says you do not need to spend the rest of your life proving yourself to people who have already decided not to understand you. There comes a moment when you stop arguing with the past and begin building the future. That moment may be arriving for you now. Type, "My future is bigger than my past," if you are ready to believe that. Do not let yesterday's rejection become tomorrow's identity. Do not let someone's inability to see your value become the way you see yourself. God knows your heart completely. He knows the intentions behind your actions. He knows what you meant when your words were misunderstood. He knows the sacrifices you made that nobody thanked you for. He knows the battles you fought privately. And Archangel Michael says that the truth has a way of becoming clearer with time. You do not have to force every truth into the open today. Some things are revealed naturally when enough time has passed. Some people reveal themselves through their actions. Some situations become understandable only after you have enough distance to see them clearly. So stop exhausting yourself trying to solve every mystery at once. There are things you are allowed to release without having every answer. There are people you are allowed to forgive without allowing them back into your life. There are doors you are allowed to close without hating what was behind them. This is part of your healing. Archangel Michael says that the next season of your life will require a different kind of strength. The old version of strength meant surviving. The new version will mean choosing wisely. It will mean protecting your peace. It will mean refusing to return to situations that repeatedly broke your confidence. It will mean listening to your intuition while also using wisdom and discernment. It will mean understanding that not every opportunity is your opportunity and not every person who wants access to you deserves unlimited access. God is teaching you the difference between being kind and abandoning yourself. He is teaching you the difference between forgiveness and permission. He is teaching you that peace is not weakness. If this message is helping you understand something about your life, type, "I choose peace," in the comments. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. Archangel Michael says the future God showed him contains something you have wanted for a long time, but it may not arrive in the exact form you expected. You have been asking for a specific door, while God may be preparing a better direction. You have been asking for one person to return, while God may be preparing someone who will treat you differently. You have been asking for one opportunity, while God may be preparing another that fits your life more completely. You have been asking for immediate answers, while God may be preparing understanding that will last much longer than an answer. This is why you must not become so attached to one outcome that you miss the blessing hidden inside another outcome. Your prayer can be sincere while your expectations are still incomplete. Leave room for God to surprise you. Archangel Michael says, "Do not confuse familiarity with destiny." Just because something feels familiar does not mean it belongs in your future. Sometimes you keep returning to what hurt you because pain became familiar. Sometimes you keep chasing what rejected you because you want to prove that you were worthy. But your worth does not need to be proven by someone else's return. You are worthy before they recognize it. You are valuable before they validate it. You are loved before they choose you. That truth must become stronger inside you than the desire to be accepted by the wrong people. If you receive that truth today, type, "I know my worth." My beloved child, Archangel Michael also says that your financial and practical circumstances can change through wise decisions, persistence, discipline, and opportunities you recognize and act upon. Do not sit back waiting for life to magically rearrange itself. Divine guidance does not eliminate your responsibility. If a door opens, you may still have to walk through it. If an opportunity appears, you may still have to prepare. If you receive an idea, you may still have to work. If someone trustworthy offers support, you may still have to accept it. Your future is not only something you wait for. It is something you participate in building. This is important because you may soon find yourself standing at a crossroads. One direction will feel comfortable because it is familiar. Another may feel uncomfortable because it requires growth. Archangel Michael says that the uncomfortable direction may be the one that teaches you something you have been asking to learn. Do not automatically choose the path that requires the least courage. Ask yourself which path helps you become the person you know you are capable of becoming. Type, "I choose growth," if you are ready for that new chapter. There is also something you need to understand about the people around you. Not everyone who smiles at you is against you, and not everyone who disagrees with you is your enemy. Discernment means learning to recognize patterns without living in suspicion. Do not allow fear to convince you that everyone is secretly working against you. God does not need you to become paranoid in order to protect yourself. He needs you to become wise. Watch actions. Watch consistency. Watch whether someone's presence produces peace, respect, honesty, and mutual growth. You do not have to accuse everyone of having bad intentions. You simply have to stop ignoring repeated patterns that tell you a relationship is unhealthy for you. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. Archangel Michael says that one of the greatest protections entering your life is clarity. Clarity will help you see what you could not see when you were emotionally attached. Clarity will help you recognize what belongs and what does not. Clarity will help you stop chasing answers from people who keep giving you confusion. If you are asking God for clarity in your relationships, type, "Give me clarity," in the comments. And now, my beloved child, listen closely because this is where the message turns toward your future. Archangel Michael says that God has already seen the version of you who finally stops carrying every old wound into every new opportunity. He saw you laughing again without feeling guilty for being happy. He saw you trusting again without forgetting what you learned. He saw you becoming hopeful without becoming naive. He saw you loving without losing yourself. He saw you succeeding without needing everyone to approve of you. He saw you waking up with a different kind of peace. And he says that this future is not imaginary. It begins with the choices you make today. Your future changes when your daily choices change. Your confidence changes when you keep promises to yourself. Your relationships change when your boundaries change. Your circumstances change when your actions change. Your inner world changes when you stop feeding thoughts that constantly tell you that you are doomed. This is why the miracle is not always an event. Sometimes the miracle is becoming someone who can finally recognize and sustain the blessing when it arrives. Archangel Michael says you have been preparing for more than you realize. The waiting season taught you patience. The disappointment taught you discernment. The betrayal taught you boundaries. The loneliness taught you how to hear your own thoughts. The failure taught you resilience. The delay taught you endurance. None of those experiences had to define you, but they could teach you. And now you get to decide what you carry forward. Keep the wisdom. Release the weight. Keep the lessons. Release the shame. Keep the love. Release the resentment. Keep your faith. Release the fear. If you are ready to release what no longer belongs in your next chapter, type, I release the past, below. There is something else Archangel Michael wants you to know. You may soon experience a moment that feels strangely familiar. A conversation, a message, an opportunity, a new person, a change in your circumstances, or even a realization may make you stop and think, now I understand why I had to go through all of that. Do not dismiss that moment. Pay attention to what it teaches you. Sometimes the confirmation you have been waiting for does not come as a supernatural spectacle. It comes as peace. It comes as clarity. It comes as a door opening naturally after you have stopped forcing another door open. It comes as the ability to make a decision without the anxiety that once controlled you. It comes as the realization that you no longer need what you once thought you could not live without. That is growth. That is healing. That is a future becoming visible through your present life. Archangel Michael says the greatest surprise may be that the blessing you have been waiting for begins inside you before it appears around you. Your mind becomes clearer. Your heart becomes calmer. Your confidence becomes stronger. Your standards become healthier. Your priorities change. And suddenly, the things that once controlled you lose their power. This is not a small transformation. It can change every part of the way you live. Type, I am becoming new, if you feel that transformation beginning. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. My beloved child, do not allow the urgency of this message to make you afraid. Archangel Michael is not asking you to live in terror of some terrible event. He is asking you to wake up. There is a difference between spiritual urgency and fear. Spiritual urgency says, pay attention to your life. Fear says, something terrible will happen if you do not obey immediately. You do not need fear to have faith. You do not need to believe that skipping a video will cause tragedy. Your protection does not depend on watching a screen for a certain number of minutes. Your relationship with God is deeper than an algorithm. What matters is what you do with the message once you hear it. Take the wisdom. Pray about it. Test it against your values and your understanding of Scripture. Use discernment. Then move forward. Archangel Michael says that real spiritual strength is not being controlled by fear. It is having enough faith to make wise decisions even when you cannot see the entire road. If that truth speaks to you, type faith over fear. Now listen carefully, because Archangel Michael says the season of constant confusion is beginning to lose its grip. You may still have questions. You may still have unfinished situations. You may still have practical problems to solve. But you are no longer the same person who entered those situations. You have learned. You have changed. You have become more aware of what matters. And because of that, the same circumstances will not have exactly the same power over you. The person who used to manipulate your emotions may no longer know how to reach you. The situation that used to consume your thoughts may no longer control your day. The rejection that once destroyed your confidence may eventually become something you are grateful happened. This is what happens when healing begins. The past remains part of your story, but it stops being the author of your identity. Archangel Michael says that God saw your future and there was something in that future that made the pain of today worth surviving. Not because pain is good, and not because suffering should be romanticized, but because your story does not end at the place where you are hurting. There is more. There is always more than the present moment. If you are choosing to believe that there is more ahead, type, there is more for me. My beloved child, there may also be a person entering your life or leaving your life in the coming season. Do not immediately assume that every new person is your destiny or every departing person is your enemy. Let time reveal character. Let consistency reveal intention. Let actions reveal truth. A healthy relationship should not require you to constantly abandon your peace to keep it alive. The right people will not be perfect, but they will respect you, communicate honestly, and make room for mutual growth. If someone leaves, allow God to comfort you rather than immediately deciding that you have been rejected by heaven. Sometimes a person leaves because the relationship has completed its purpose. Sometimes a person stays because there is still something to learn together. Sometimes the answer is reconciliation, and sometimes the answer is distance. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Archangel Michael says that your next chapter will require you to stop begging closed doors to open. If something repeatedly requires you to destroy your peace just to maintain it, step back. If a situation requires you to betray your values, step back. If someone continually makes you feel small, step back. You do not need to hate them. You simply need to choose what is healthy for you. Type, "I choose what is healthy," if you are ready to live differently. And now, the message becomes even more personal. Archangel Michael says that there is a dream you stopped talking about because disappointment taught you not to expect too much. Maybe you once believed you could build something meaningful. Maybe you wanted a better relationship, a better career, a more peaceful home, a stronger spiritual life, or a completely different future. But somewhere along the way, you started telling yourself to be realistic. You lowered the dream because you were tired of being disappointed. Today, Archangel Michael wants you to revisit that dream, not blindly, not recklessly, but honestly. Ask yourself whether the dream is truly dead or whether you simply stopped giving yourself permission to pursue it. God may not give you the exact path you imagined, but that does not mean the deeper desire behind it has disappeared. Sometimes the dream needs to mature before it can become reality. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. Sometimes you need to become ready before the opportunity arrives. Sometimes the destination remains but the route changes. Do not confuse a changed route with a cancelled destination. If you still have a dream in your heart, type, "I won't give up," below. Archangel Michael says the future he saw was filled with movement. You were not standing still. You were learning, building, choosing, forgiving, working, creating, and walking forward. This means you must not spend the next season waiting passively for a miracle while refusing to take practical steps. Pray, but also prepare. Believe, but also act. Ask for guidance, but also pay attention to opportunities. Trust God, but also use the wisdom He has given you. Your faith and your responsibility can work together. This is the balance you need. The door may open, but you still have to walk through it. The opportunity may appear, but you still have to develop the skill. The relationship may arrive, but you still have to communicate honestly. The healing may begin, but you still have to stop returning to what keeps reopening the wound. Your future is calling you to participation. Archangel Michael says that the next sign of change may be subtle. You may simply notice that you are no longer attracted to the same chaos. You may stop checking someone's profile. You may stop waiting for an apology. You may stop explaining yourself to people who refuse to listen. You may start waking up with ideas instead of anxiety. You may begin thinking about what you can build rather than what went wrong. These are powerful signs because they show that your attention is moving from the past to the future. And where your attention goes, your decisions often follow. Protect your attention. Protect your thoughts. Protect the voices you allow to influence you. If you are choosing to focus on what you can build instead of what you lost, type, "I am building again." My beloved child, Archangel Michael says that there is a reason the title of this message speaks about God seeing your future. Imagine for a moment that God could show you the entire road ahead. You would see the moments that frighten you now and realize that they pass. You would see the people you have not met yet. You would see the opportunities you cannot imagine. You would see yourself making decisions you currently believe you are incapable of making. You would see yourself becoming stronger. You would see yourself surviving the very thing you are currently afraid of. You would see that some of the things you are crying over today will eventually become lessons you are grateful to have learned. And perhaps you would understand why heaven did not give you everything at the moment you demanded it. Sometimes you were being prepared. Sometimes you were being redirected. Sometimes you were being protected from something you could not see. Sometimes you were simply growing through a normal human season that required patience. Whatever the reason, your future is not required to look exactly like your past. Archangel Michael says, "Do not judge tomorrow by yesterday." That sentence is for someone who has almost given up hope. You may have experienced disappointment after disappointment and started believing that disappointment was your destiny. It is not. You may have been rejected repeatedly and started believing you were unworthy. You are not. You may have failed at something important and started believing you were incapable. You are not defined by one failure. You may have trusted someone who betrayed you and started believing that everyone will hurt you. That is not necessarily true. Healing allows you to become wise without becoming hard. That is the future God saw. A person who can still love without losing discernment. A person who can still trust without ignoring evidence. A person who can still dream without abandoning wisdom. A person who can still hope without pretending everything is perfect. If you want that kind of strength, type, "Make me wiser, not harder." Archangel Michael says that one of the most beautiful changes coming is that you will begin to recognize peace as a blessing instead of mistaking chaos for excitement. You will stop thinking that love must hurt to be real. You will stop believing that struggle is proof that something matters. You will stop chasing people simply because they are difficult to reach. You will stop measuring your worth by how intensely someone reacts to you. You will begin to appreciate consistency. You will appreciate honesty. You will appreciate people who show up. You will appreciate quiet mornings, clear decisions, meaningful work, genuine friendships, and the simple peace of knowing you are not betraying yourself. This is not a boring future. It is a healthy one. And Archangel Michael says healthy can feel unfamiliar when you have lived in survival mode for too long. Give yourself time to adjust. My beloved child, the breakthrough you are waiting for may arrive through something you initially consider ordinary. Do not dismiss it because it does not look dramatic. A single conversation can change a direction. A single decision can change a year. A single introduction can create an opportunity. A single boundary can end a cycle. A single act of courage can restore your confidence. A single morning of choosing differently can become the beginning of a completely different life. Your miracle may begin quietly. Pay attention. If you are ready to recognize the small things that can become big turning points, type, "Small beginnings matter." Now, Archangel Michael wants you to understand why you have felt that your life was delayed. Delay can be painful because it makes you compare yourself to others. You see someone else moving forward and wonder why your life seems stuck. But comparison hides context. You do not know what another person's path requires. You do not know what they had to overcome. You do not know what their future holds. Your timeline is not a verdict on your worth. You are not late simply because someone else arrived somewhere before you. You are not behind simply because your life looks different. God can work through different timelines. Your task is not to raise someone else's life. Your task is to live yours faithfully and wisely. Archangel Michael says, your timing is not evidence that you have been forgotten. Remember that. If you have been comparing your journey to someone else's, type, "My path is my own." My beloved child, there is also something you must stop doing. Stop using your past self as evidence against your present self. You made mistakes. So did everyone. You trusted the wrong person. You ignored signs. You stayed too long. You left too quickly. You said things you regret. You failed at something. You made decisions with the information you had at the time. Learn from them, but do not build an altar to your mistakes and worship them every morning by replaying them in your mind. You cannot change yesterday, but you can change what yesterday produces in you. Let your mistakes become teachers rather than prisons. Archangel Michael says your future needs the wisdom you gained, not the shame you carried. Type, "I forgive myself," if that is something you need to say today. There is a new level of emotional freedom waiting for you when you stop demanding that the past apologize before you allow yourself to move forward. Sometimes the person who hurt you will never understand how deeply they hurt you. Sometimes they will never apologize. Sometimes they will never admit what they did. You still have the right to heal. Your healing does not require their participation. Your peace does not require their permission. Your future does not require their approval. This is one of the strongest truths Archangel Michael wants you to carry forward. And now, listen closely. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. The blessing God saw in your future may not simply be an object, a relationship, or an amount of money. It may be the ability to live without constantly being afraid. It may be waking up and trusting yourself again. It may be having a peaceful home. It may be finding meaningful work. It may be having people around you who genuinely respect you. It may be discovering a purpose that makes you excited to wake up. It may be finally understanding who you are. These blessings can be more valuable than anything you can hold in your hands. If you are grateful for the blessings that cannot be purchased, type, "Thank you, God." Archangel Michael says that the future is opening in layers. First comes awareness. Then comes a decision. Then comes action. Then comes consistency. And eventually, the visible result appears. Do not become discouraged because you cannot see the final result immediately. Seeds do not become trees overnight. Healing does not happen because you watched one message. A new life is built through repeated choices. Your faith matters, but so does your persistence. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep praying. Keep making wise decisions. Keep moving. There will be days when you feel nothing. There will be days when progress seems invisible. That does not mean nothing is happening. Sometimes growth is happening underneath the surface. Archangel Michael says, do not abandon the process because you cannot yet see the harvest. If you are willing to keep going even when progress is slow, Type, I will keep going. My beloved child, the final part of this message is about what you should do when the blessing begins to appear. First, do not become so excited that you abandon discernment. Pray. Think. Ask questions. Look at the facts. If an opportunity seems too good to be true, investigate it. If someone new enters your life, let time reveal their character. If money becomes available, manage it wisely. If a career opportunity appears, consider the responsibilities as well as the rewards. If you receive a message that changes your emotions, do not immediately react. Pause. Breathe. Respond with wisdom. A blessing should not require you to abandon common sense. God can guide you through wisdom as much as through emotion. Second, do not sabotage the new season by returning to the habits that created the old one. If you asked for peace, stop feeding chaos. If you asked for growth, stop glorifying stagnation. If you asked for healthy relationships, stop accepting repeated disrespect. If you asked for clarity, stop deliberately surrounding yourself with confusion. Your choices must eventually agree with the future you say you want. Third, remember gratitude. Not because gratitude magically forces God to give you something, but because gratitude changes the way you see what you already have. When you become grateful for today's small blessings, you become more aware of the ways life is already moving. Type, I choose gratitude, if you are ready to notice what is already good. Archangel Michael says the future God saw was not perfect. There were still challenges. There were still decisions. There were still moments that required courage. But there was something different about you. You were no longer afraid of every challenge. You knew that difficulty did not automatically mean disaster. You knew that one bad day did not mean a bad life. You knew that one closed door did not mean every door was closed. You knew that one person's rejection did not mean God had rejected you. You knew that waiting did not mean forgetting. You knew that your identity was bigger than your circumstances. And that is the person you are becoming. My beloved child, perhaps God did not cry because your future was tragic. Perhaps the tears you imagine were the tears of compassion for everything you had to endure before you could finally understand that you were never alone. He saw the moments you would break down and the moments you would rise again. He saw the nights you would ask, "Why me?" and the future moment when you would finally say, "Now I understand." He saw you walking through the storm and eventually realizing that the storm was not the whole story. Archangel Michael says there is still more ahead. Do not let your current circumstances convince you that your story is finished. There are people you have not met. There are lessons you have not learned. There are opportunities you have not recognized. There are places you have not seen. There are versions of yourself you have not yet become. There are prayers you have not yet prayed because you do not even know you will need them. Your future is larger than your present awareness. If you believe there is more ahead, type, "My story continues." Now take a moment and think about the last few years of your life. Think about everything you thought would destroy you but did not. Think about every door that closed and how you eventually kept moving. Think about every time you thought you could not continue and somehow found another day. Look at how far you have come. You may not be where you want to be, but you are not where you were. That matters. Progress does not have to be dramatic to be real. Sometimes progress is simply realizing that something that once controlled you no longer does. Sometimes progress is choosing yourself. Sometimes progress is sleeping peacefully after months of anxiety. Sometimes progress is saying no. Sometimes progress is starting again. Archangel Michael says, honor the distance you have already traveled. Type, I am proud of how far I've come, if you can say that honestly today. My beloved child, there may be a sudden change in the coming days or weeks that gives you a clearer understanding of where your life is heading. It may be a conversation. It may be an opportunity. It may be a new responsibility. It may be a decision you finally feel ready to make. It may be a relationship changing. It may be a new direction appearing. Whatever form it takes, do not automatically call every unexpected event a divine sign. Instead, pay attention to the fruit it produces. Does it move you toward wisdom, peace, integrity, courage, and growth? Or does it push you toward fear, desperation, obsession, and impulsive decisions? Discernment will protect you. Archangel Michael says your strongest spiritual shield is not fear. It is wisdom. And wisdom grows when you learn to pause before reacting. If you are asking for greater discernment, type, give me wisdom. The future God saw is not something you need to obsessively predict. You do not need to know the exact date, exact person, exact amount, or exact event. You need enough light for the next step. That is often how life works. One step becomes visible, you take it, and then the next step becomes clearer. Do not demand the entire map before you are willing to move. Sometimes faith means taking the next responsible step with limited information. Archangel Michael says that your next step may be simpler than you think. Make the call. Apply for the opportunity. Have the conversation. Finish the project. Set the boundary. Rest. Pray. Learn. Forgive yourself. Start again. Ask for help when you need it. Do not make your next step complicated simply because your final destination is big. My beloved child, your breakthrough may not arrive as one dramatic moment. It may arrive as a series of small decisions that eventually create a life you once thought was impossible. That is why you should not despise the ordinary. Ordinary days are where extraordinary futures are built. Your future is being shaped by what you repeatedly do when nobody is watching. Archangel Michael says that the person you become in private will eventually influence what you experience in public. Strengthen your inner world. Strengthen your character. Strengthen your discipline. Strengthen your relationship with God. Strengthen your ability to recognize truth. Then when the door opens, you will be ready. If you are preparing yourself for what you have prayed for, type, I am getting ready. And now, my beloved child, hear this final message from Archangel Michael. You were never forgotten. You were never invisible. Your pain was never the whole story. The chapter that hurt you the most does not have to become the chapter that defines you. Stand up again. Lift your eyes again. Make the next wise choice. Do not allow fear to write the ending of a story that God has not finished. The tragedy you fear does not have to become your identity. The betrayal you experience does not have to become your personality. The delay you endured does not have to become your destiny. You are allowed to move forward. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. You are allowed to become happier. You are allowed to receive good things without constantly waiting for them to disappear. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to dream again. You are allowed to believe that your life can change. And when change comes, meet it with wisdom rather than fear. Archangel Michael says that God saw your future and saw you standing in a place where your heart was lighter. He saw you surrounded by greater peace. He saw you understanding the lessons that once confused you. He saw you making choices that your younger self could not have imagined. He saw you becoming stronger without becoming bitter. He saw you becoming wiser without becoming cold. He saw you becoming successful without losing your soul. He saw you becoming confident without needing to prove yourself to everyone. He saw you finally realizing that you did not have to chase what was meant to meet you halfway. My beloved child, the next chapter is not asking you to become someone else. It is asking you to become more fully who you were created to be. Let go of the identity built entirely around what happened to you. You are not only what happened to you. You are also what you choose to become afterward. That choice is powerful. If you are ready to become the person your future requires, type, "I am ready." Take one more deep breath and let this message settle inside you. You do not have to figure everything out today. You do not have to force every door open today. You do not have to know every answer today. You only need to take the next wise step. Trust God with what you cannot control, and take responsibility for what you can. Protect your peace. Choose wisdom. Keep your heart open without abandoning discernment. Keep your faith without surrendering your common sense. Keep moving without demanding that every step be perfect. And remember this, your future is not a punishment waiting to happen. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $222. It is a story still being written through your choices, your growth, your faith, and your courage. Archangel Michael's final words for you are simple: do not give up now. You have survived too much to stop believing in your ability to rise. You have learned too much to return to the same patterns. You have grown too much to make your past the ruler of your future. The door ahead may not look exactly like the door you expected, but that does not mean it is not the right one. Walk carefully. Walk wisely. Walk with faith. And when the moment comes that makes you understand why you had to wait, why you had to let go, why you had to grow, why you had to begin again, remember this message. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. You were not abandoned. You were being strengthened. You were not finished. You were becoming. And the future God saw is still ahead of you. If you receive this message with an open heart, leave one final declaration in the comments: I trust God's timing. Then carry those words beyond this video and into your real life. Let them influence the next decision you make, the next boundary you set, the next opportunity you pursue, and the next time you choose hope instead of fear. May you walk into your next chapter with wisdom, courage, peace, and a heart that is ready to recognize the good when it arrives. Your story continues. Your future is still unfolding. And this is not the end. It is the beginning of another chapter. Before you leave, if this message helped you in any way, you can bless this ministry by giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation on PayPal. You have the option to give special thanks with contributions of up to $222. You can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. God bless you.